in a road accident which occurred in Singida region. Present at the occasion was the Minister of Information, Culture, Arts and Sports, Dr. Information Mwakyembe, who spoke against posting of pictures of people who die in accidents on social media, while the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs, Engineer Hamad Masauni, said investigations are underway on the cause of accident which killed 5 employees of Azam Media. Also present are the last respects with various leaders of media houses, political parties, government and private sector.
Kwa niaba ya Wizara ya Habari, Utamaduni, Sanaa na Michezo,
I would like to offer my heartfelt condolences to the parents of the children laid before us and to friends and associates of these young men, and as a media, Mzee Baharesa, Tido and members of staff. This is a big blow to all of us, considering that these young men gone before us are very young, and their contribution is not just for Azam Company, but to the nation as a whole. And their families, Azam Company, through its media department, has been working very closely with our police force, particularly with traffic police, in educating the general public on laws so as to reduce the number of road accidents. I think in this sector, what employees need to learn is to multitask. You must be able to do more than one job. For instance, for the gap left in Azam, I believe that it will not be felt because someone else will step in and fill that role. So it is very important to learn multitasking. You can be a camera operator, but still learn how to do editing. So if something like this happens, then operations could carry on as usual to honor those who have passed away. When something unexpected and shocking like this happens, your greatest comfort comes from those close to you, friends and family. They stay with you to comfort you, speaking in a language that you can take comfort in. For us at Azam Group and Bahresa Group in general, you have been a great comfort to us.
Kukupa lugha ambayo itakuwezesha uweze kufarijika.
The body of Salim Mhando, one of the 5 employees who were killed in a road accident in Singida region yesterday, has been laid to rest at the Sweet Corner in Tandale area, Dar es Salaam. Salim was employed as a switcher at Azam Media Limited, born in 1985. Salim Mhando has left behind a wife and 2 children.
Lakini sisi tumepokea kwa masikitiko makubwa sana.
We received the news with great sadness, but there is nothing that we can do. We would like to express our condolences to fellow journalists. We are thankful for the support we've received. I urge those left behind to be ready, because in this world we are just passing through. Being in prayer is one way to get close to God. What has happened was His. We don't know when our time is going to be. Neither do we know the day or place.
May
the Almighty God rest his soul in peace. He was religious and a good man to everyone. He could not disregard anyone. I'll miss him because he used to advise me a lot on how to live my life.
May his soul rest in peace. As we're moving on, President Dr. John Magufuli has launched Burigi Chato National Park, which is in Geita and Kagera regions, and directed the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism to set up the fight against illegal poaching, particularly on elephants and rhinos. Burigi National Park becomes the 3rd largest in the country after Ruaha and Serengeti parks.
Haiwezekani mahali
it is not possible for a reserve to have elephants and the number keeps decreasing. Yet, there are people in charge. Either the number of elephants decreases or the number of staff. It is a disgrace. The government has entrusted you. Elephants graze in herds, so you can put a sensor just on one elephant and be monitoring the herd. I ask you to better manage our resources.
Wanaharakati wa mazingira wanaotaka kujionesha kwamba wao wanajua zaidi.
I would like to warn all environmental stakeholders who pretend to know more about safeguarding national parks than we do. I would like to tell them that if they continue to boast of having more knowledge about the conservation of national parks, I would like to tell them that if they continue to boast of having more knowledge about the conservation of national parks, then we government officials who have been protecting such parks for generations, then they should feel ashamed, as we will surely put them in their place.
Tunakuahidi
I promise you that we will better manage and promote reserves accordingly, diligently, for the benefit of the current and future generations. I would like to assure you that TANAPA National Board of Trustees, of which I head, will continue to work with various stakeholders in the public and private sectors in ensuring that reserves continue to get investors and is promoted inside and outside the country. To begin with, TANAPA will build a hotel with a 50-bed capacity here in Chato so others can learn from us.
The High Court Corruption and Economic Sabotage Division has agreed to receive a written document given by the former Minister of Finance during the fourth phase government to be used as evidence in the case facing the former Commissioner General of Tanzania Revenue Authority, Harry Kitilia, and 4 accused. The court made the decision after dismissing an objection filed by the accused on July 8th to receive the document, which had been written by Stanbic Bank in collaboration with Standard Chartered Bank in the UK to the then Finance Minister Mustafa Mkulo, recommending to give Tanzania a loan of $550 million. The accused claimed that the document was not sufficient to be used as evidence in court. The accused include a former Stanbic Bank employees, Jose Sinare, and COE Solomon. Others are Didasan Shalanda and Alfred Misana, who are former officials from the Ministry of Finance. They face 58 charges, which include forgery, money laundering, and incurring the government a loss of $6 million. The 3 children from a livestock community in Kiteto District, Manyara region have died after a meal made of maize flour suspected to have been contaminated by fungus known as aflatoxin. The children died after being admitted at Kiteto District Hospital.
So far, we have received 6 patients, out of which 3 have died. The diagnosis shows that food items containing starch had been consumed with a bitter taste that had made their stomach bloat and caused them to vomit. When the sample was tasted, it became clear that the flour was poisonous. As a district, we've launched a campaign to ask any germination had been harvested and that the produce has dried properly.
The French ambassador in Tanzania, Frederic Clavier, has said due to France's confidence in the country, the French Agency for Development has doubled its support, which now amounts to $110 million of loans per year and $23 million of grants.
Is particularly emphasized in the support of the Tanzanian government in its objective of becoming a middle-income country by 2025. France is backing 100% President Magufuli on this challenge. In this respect, I ask the French Agency for Development to finance development projects in the high priority sectors of the Tanzanian government, namely energy, transport, and water. Our objective is to provide basic and structural facilities for the population, representing the base frame of economic development.
Part of Kilama gold mine in Gairo, Morogoro region, which had been closed down due to safety reasons, has been reopened and handed over to 69 cooperative groups who have called on the government to improve security in the area.
After the minerals officer in charge confirmed that this area had been cleared out as instructed and arrangements for the associates had been made, they will bring the certificate to you. And he has allowed for this mine to be open. On behalf of Morogoro Regional Commissioner, I declare that this mine is now in the hands of 96 groups in the association and is officially opened.
Ni jumla ya gramu 228.3 za dhahabu.
228.3 grams of gold have been bought by brokers from this area, and 255.23 grams of gold have been bought by our Morogoro market. The gold has been purchased for 25 million. Although I haven't seen the certificate, it is in his office. This matter has been completed. On Monday, registration will be done on the association. When the mine has expanded and there is more gold, there is a tendency for some to overpower others. I ask law enforcement organs to take care of this.
The former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Musa Uledi, has said that Tanzania is performing well when it comes to selling its goods in the Asian market, in the Asian continent rather, and regionally compared to Europe and the US. He made the remarks during a seminar for journalists who will be reporting on the 39th Southern Africa Development Community SADC Summit, which this year will be held in Tanzania.
I would like to say that there are plenty of business opportunities for us in the SADC region. We should not forget that we are abundantly blessed with cotton, coffee, fishes, and even livestock, which can all be transformed into value-added products. For instance, as an example, imagine if we were to heavily invest in the cotton sector. At this juncture, I must highlight the fact that in the SADC region, Tanzania is the only member state which produces cotton.
And this is important also, given that we are having an event which is coming in Tanzania, the SADC Summit. So people should understand what it is all about. Heads of states are going to come from all the member states, including council ministers. They are going to come here to deliberate on regional integration issues. So the people at large should understand what's going on, what are the benefits which will accrue, what will be discussed about the SADC, what they expect to get from the deliberations, etc. So this training which we have been doing over the past 2 days, to me, I have seen that understand what SADC is all about in terms of its programs, the instruments which the member states have signed, including Tanzania.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. In international news, at least 44 people, including infants, have been picked up from their street vessel off Libya's coast in the Mediterranean Sea, according to a German charity operation that operating the ship that rescued them. Here more details. The agreed to take in those rescued by the Alan Kurdish ship and was sending a vessel to pick them up. The CI charity said late on Monday there was no immediate confirmation by Malta's authorities. CI said it was altered to the plight of the people in need of rescue by Tunisian fishermen and the Colibri civilian search plane. The rescued people, who come from Syria, Libya, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Guinea, say they have left Zuwara in Libya early on Saturday in a wooden boat, according to AFP news agency. A former State House employee in Kenya, Dennis Itumbi, will be taken to court on Wednesday to face charges of planning to murder Deputy President William Ruto. The former State House Director of Digital Communication will appear in court after being held in police custody for 5 days in Nairobi. Others implicated in the charges are a former Secretary of the Ministry of Internal Security, Karanja Kibicho. According to useless allegations, because the allegations are under police investigation, it is very sad. As a country, we are all talking about things that are mere imaginations. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand.
You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight, the Minister of Information, Tourism and Antiquity, Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, has launched special ID cards which will be used by tour guides in Zanzibar. This comes after complaints that there are some tour guides who do not qualify to work as guides.
These
cards will be in a special database which will identify every tour guide in Zanzibar. If anything happens, it will be easy to trace them, weather, criminal activities, identify their capacities from language to education level. From now onwards, we will not allow tourists to come with their own tour guides anymore. They have to use the local tour guides because through the database, tourists will have local tour guides according to their demands. The Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Philip Mpango, has directed all financial institutions to cooperate with security organs to control money laundering through banks by giving information on suspicious transactions. He gave their statement when receiving a 1.2 billion shillings dividend from Tanzania Postal Bank. We do follow-ups, but you are our initial security guards. You need to be very careful with money laundering through our banks. If we come across suspicious transactions, report immediately, because the very same people hurt us in the end. Conducting huge transactions, and bank officers are just ignorantly make their criminal lives easier. In 2019, these efforts will carry on. As a board chairman, I commend the efforts so that we can support our government in building economies of Tanzanians individually. telecommunication company Tigo has called on residents in Kibaigwa, particularly farmers and livestock keepers, to use financial services such as making transactions and internet provided by the company to grow their businesses. Launch of 4G services will allow us to provide services of good quality level. Today, we have fulfilled our target of making sure that our services reach different places in the country, including here at Kibaigwa. We believe that Kibaigwa residents will now have access to good communications in high speed and easily accessible Tigo Pesa services. All this will foster development since communication is key in trade, agriculture and livestock.
Sisi wakulima 4G.
4G is helping farmers in fastening communications, and the internet is good. As farmers, we are now easily sharing information online because in Kibaigwa there are more than 40,000 Tigo subscribers. Hence, many people will benefit from this service.
Kwa hiyo watu wengi sana watafanyaje? Watafaidika sana na hii 4G.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly after the break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Mwakyembe, he did lose to Lynn.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Young Africans and Taifa Stars fullback Gadiel Michael has signed a 2-year deal with Simba Sports Club following a successful spell at Yanga. Here's more.
Gadiel was part of the Taifa Stars squad that represented the country in the Africa Cup of Nations, where Tanzania was eliminated in the group stage. He was among the best players in Yanga squad last season, and so it came as a shock to some fans of the Jangwani club that he was leaving. Yanga management say they wish him well, since soccer is business, and if he has found greener pastures, they cannot retain him.
Soccer stakeholders in the country have criticized the Football Federation's decision to part ways with the Taifa Stars coach Emmanuel Amunike a few days after the CHAN qualifiers.
Some say when we went to AFCON 39 years ago, we performed better than we have this time. Because 39 years ago, when we went, we got 1 point. But this year, we haven't got even 1 point. We have scored less goals than those in the last competition, since last time we scored 3 goals with a goal in each game. So there is something, if we are explained too well by the authorities of soccer, we will understand.
Tukielezwa kwa ufasaha na wataalamu wenye mpira, basi Watanzania tungekuwa na letu moja.
Football player Kevin Prince Boateng has taken a jump at Black Stars following their exit from the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Egypt on Monday. Here's more on the story.
The West Africans' hopes of ending a 37-year trophy drought ended following a 5-4 penalty shootout defeat against Tunisia in the round of 16, the match having ended 1-1 after extra time. Boateng hasn't returned to the Black Stars squad after his behavior was called into question at the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. The German-born player, who spent the second part of last season on loan at Barcelona, was snubbed for AFCON after indicating an interest to return to the national team. Ahead of the Egypt gathering, Ghana Football Association Normalization Committee Chairman Kofi Amor revealed Boateng, together with Souley Montari, who was also suspended during the controversial World Cup campaign, had expressed interest to be considered for the competition. Boateng won 15 caps and scored 2 goals during his 2 spells with the 4-time African champions.
Paris Saint-Germain sporting director Leonardo is prepared to sell Neymar after the Brazil forward failed to report for the pre-season training. Here are more details.
Club's training ground on Monday, but was absent without leave as speculation surrounds a move back to his former club Barcelona. Asked if the 27-year-old had told him he wants to leave, Leonardo told Le Parisien, "It's clear to everyone. But in football, you say one thing one day and another the next. I spoke to him and he's encouraged. The position is clear for everyone."
And Leicester have completed their club record signing of Yuri Telemans from Monaco. The midfielder takes City's summer spending to nearly £80 million by signing a 4-year deal with a fee believed to be about €40 million. Here's more on the story.
International, who had been linked with Manchester United, spent the second half of last season on loan at the King Power Stadium. He told the club's website, "It's such a great feeling to sign for this club. Ever since I arrived on loan last season, all the players, the staff and the fans have been fantastic with me, so I'm thrilled to be able to become a Leicester City player." Tillmans made 13 appearances, scoring 3 times during his loan spell, which involved Adrien Silva moving to Monaco on a similar deal.
And our sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimba. Thank you for watching and good night.